Trump plans for EV program cuts and more. As expected, the transition team for President-elect Donald Trump is now reportedly looking to slash support for electric vehicle EV and charging programs set up by the Biden administration, along with lodging global tariffs and pushing to ease regulations on fossil fuel emissions. The Trump transition team is now looking at plans to ease regulations on the fossil fuel industry and to cut many EV programs, including the $7,500 EV tax credit, along with lodging tariffs on battery material imports worldwide, according to a document seen by Reuters this week. As part of efforts to bolster the domestic supply chain for battery materials, many of which are produced in China and are heavily subsidized in the U.S., the transition team has recommended imposing tariffs on all battery materials around the world, before negotiating individual exemptions with allies, as the document shows. When he takes office, President Trump will support the auto industry, allowing space for both gas-powered cars and electric vehicles, said Caroline Leavitt, spokesperson for the Trump transition team, in a statement. Although Trump campaigned on promises to end the $7,500 federal EV credit, and official plans to kill the subsidy were reported last month, the transition team has also called for rolling back the $7.5 billion plan passed under Biden to help aid the build-out of charging stations for EVs. Instead, the team has said that it would shift this and other funding currently going toward making EVs more affordable, toward national defense efforts, including the initiative to secure battery supplies without relying on China. The document notes that these efforts would focus on shifting money toward battery material production, as well as the national defense supply chain and critical infrastructure. The document suggested that the team utilize Section 232 tariffs, which are intended to limit the import of any items related to potential national security threats. Biden recently increased tariffs on several imports related to charging technology and critical minerals for EV batteries, including graphite, permanent magnets used in EV motors and in military applications, and lithium-ion batteries, among others, though the tariffs were issued on economic grounds rather than on those in national security. The transition team is also looking to waive environmental reviews to accelerate federally funded EV infrastructure projects, such as those in battery production and recycling, charging deployment, and manufacturing of critical minerals. Other proposals detailed in the document include ditching federal requirements for electrifying government fleets, including Biden's policy to mandate all federal purchases by zero-emission vehicles by the end of 2027, using the Export-Import Bank of the U.S. to provide financial support for U.S. batteries for EVs, utilizing tariffs as a negotiating tool to encourage other markets to consider U.S. auto exports, including both gas cars and EVs, ending restrictions on exports of EV battery technology to countries deemed adversaries, ending programs for the Department of Defense attempting to buy or develop electric military vehicle options. How will ending the $7,500 EV tax credit affect Tesla? Musk calls it a benefit. While many have said that ditching the $7,500 tax credit and other policies intended to help spur on the adoption of EVs could hurt Tesla, CEO Elon Musk and others have argued that it may only benefit the company by harming other automakers even more. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives said last month that the change would only enable Tesla to further fend off competition from Detroit, given its already decisive advantage in EV scale. In his latest statement regarding EV subsidies, made on X last month, Musk called for the U.S. to end all government subsidies, including those for EVs, oil and gas. Musk also campaigned with Donald Trump during the election and created the Political Action Committee PAC, dubbed America PAC, to support his candidacy financially. He has since gained a position in what the team has called the Department of Government Efficiency, and he's expected to play a major role in the upcoming administration. In a report last week, it was said that the Trump transition team is also considering getting rid of a mandatory reporting measure for automated driving systems, as part of a larger effort to remove regulations and push self-driving vehicle development forward more quickly. An additional report from last month also suggests that Trump is already looking to create federal rules surrounding the rollout of autonomous vehicles, expected to accelerate the deployment of commercial robotaxis and other self-driving technologies. Source: reposted and summarized from Zachary Visconti at teslarati.